Are you ready to break free from the chains of diet culture, embrace your power as a woman, and reclaim your health on your own terms? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Nourish Her podcast, the ultimate destination for women who refuse to settle for anything less than who they were made to be. We're not just here to talk, we're here to inspire action. With expert insights, practical tips, and a hefty dose of motivation, we'll empower you to take charge of your health, prioritize self-care, and unleash your inner strength like never before. So whether you're a busy mom juggling 1,000 responsibilities, a fitness enthusiast hungry for knowledge, or a woman who's simply tired of feeling like she's not enough, Nourish Her podcast is your sanctuary. It's a reminder that you are worthy, you are capable, and you are deserving of every good thing the Lord has to offer. Nourish Her is not just a podcast, it's a movement. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Nourish Her podcast. What's up, guys? I'm here with Coach Erica today. She is back. Erica, it's actually been a while since you've been on here. I'm trying to think, like that was like last summer. Is that
No,
right?
yeah.
Gosh, I was just thinking that. And we are coming at you guys today, and this is the perfect timing for summer as we just enter into June, mid-June actually now, where everyone is traveling. And so we're going to hit you guys with some awesome travel hacks and how to stay healthy without falling off. And I don't know about you guys, but I used to be a very much so all or nothing type person, and so traveling gave me so much anxiety when it would come to eating healthy and exercising. And so, again, I always say this, I feel like I've just kind of cracked the code. I understand it now, and I just want to be able to educate as many people as we can on how to stay healthy no matter what life throws at you. So, we are going to talk about that today. It's going to be really, really good. So, we're going to talk about kind of a mindset behind like traveling, like how do you pack food for airport versus car, hotel versus Airbnb. And then, yeah, how do we just make the most of our travel and not feel miserable and like you can't, enjoy your vacation? So I think it's going to be a really good one today, super practical. And yeah, Erica, let's start off. Like, how are you? It's been a while.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so excited to be on here today. We just came back, I want to say like 6 or 8 weeks ago from traveling.
Yeah.
And we took our kids. We've done traveling so many different ways with them. This was our first time we took them to an all-inclusive resort
Yeah.
where you can just go off the rails pretty easily. So I'm
That
excited to kind of share a little bit of that too.
Yes, that'll be so good. And I think it'll be so good. You and I both talking about it coming from, I always say this, but different seasons of motherhood. Obviously, mine are very little in diapers and pregnant. And then your kids are like middle aged to high school. So I think it'll be really good to kind of talk about for any mom that's listening or dad. Um, we have kind of the full range here. If you took all
Yeah.
six of our kids, we legit have like high school to womb. So I think it'll be really, really good. Um, so I think the very first thing that I want to start with, Erica, is just like talking about mindset behind traveling. Like I said, I used to have really bad, I'm like a perfectionist type A, really, really bad like mindset around things, all or nothing. It was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna follow this meal plan to a T, or I don't know if you ever did this, Erica, this just came to mind. Did you ever know you're going on vacation and you're like, okay, I've got 2 weeks. I'm gonna do like lemon water and like not eat and see if I can lose like whatever it was. Like I legit used to do that. Like I remember
Hmm.
vividly back in like late high school, college. And so I just want to like start talking about like mindset first things first. So if I guess any woman's listening again or man, what would you say behind like the mindset before like even traveling? Like where does our mindset need to be as we head into our travel?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think it has to be in this frame of what is sustainable. I think that's the best way to look at it because Yeah, all or nothing would say, and I totally get it. 2 weeks, I gotta dial in. I gotta look as lean as possible, especially for as for women, probably men too, especially if we're wearing a swimsuit, right?
Yes.
We get like warped in our head, and then I always think it's so funny because then we get on vacation. Typically, the people who have that mindset also get on vacation and think, gosh, if I eat this ice cream, I'm going to gain 10 pounds, right? And so they're very extreme on one side, very extreme on the other. And I think you kind of just have to have a come to Jesus talk with yourself and say, hey, calm down. Like, okay, what's sustainable? Um, for me, it's like, if I plan on enjoying these moments for the rest of my life, I'm not on vacation all the time. We probably go on a trip once a year. And so it's like, okay, if I were to, I'm a visual person. So I like to think about it this way. If I put 365 post-it notes on my wall and I took 7 of those down, and then I took one down for my birthday and one down for Christmas and one down for Thanksgiving and things that like where we're typically going to probably have some non-quality foods, right? Life's going to look a little different.
Yeah.
Now we're to take a step back. There's still a lot of post-it notes there, right? And those ones that are left, that represents when I'm eating quality food and having really healthy rhythms. And that really kind of like gives me the framework of it's okay, and we can trust that, like, this isn't going to make us fly off the rails one way or the other. Like, it's just part of life. It really is. So, I
Yeah.
think that's really, really helpful to just think about that going in.
I actually really like that and think about that visual of like literally 365 post-it notes. It's like this is where the consistency comes from. It's in the 300 and however many days that we're not traveling or celebrating birthdays or whatever. That's so
Mhm.
good. And yes, that used to be me. Like I used to like, okay, I'm gonna run on the treadmill every single day and try to like again, like I remember back in college, I would try to Pinterest, like, okay, how can I like lose weight quickly, and look like the best in my swimsuit? I'm like, this is just crazy. So yes, that's really, really good. And yeah, I think something that I teach my clients too, just from a mindset perspective before we even leave, is okay, sustainability, right? So we know that, like, if we truly do travel once or twice a year, this is like such an important time. We're not going to look back when we're 90 in our deathbed saying, like, oh, I wish I would have, not eaten that or whatever. Like, that's just stupid. So for me, it's like, okay, what is one thing that you can do on vacation that's like your non-negotiable? Like, that keeps your health in check, that keeps you from feeling like you've completely fallen off, and like what's sustainable? Like, what can you actually achieve? So that might look like, okay, every single day, I'm gonna start my morning with 50 air squats before I go
Mm,
to the beach. Or it might look like, okay, every time I eat, I'm gonna try to eat my protein first, and then I'm gonna eat the rest of whatever is around me. I also have people who are just like, I think I can hit 10,000 steps regardless every single day. So, whatever that is for you, every time I'm working with a client and they're going on vacation, they always get so nervous. I'm like, there's no reason to be nervous. Either
mhm.
you'll come home a couple pounds to 2 to 5 pounds heavier because you're inflamed from the food, or you might honestly see the opposite where you lose a couple pounds because you're
Yeah.
dehydrated, right? And we might
Mhm.
do both of those. But at the end of the day, one week is not going to derail you. What will derail you is when you come home and you stick with the habits that maybe you continue to do through vacation and you ate like crap and whatever, and come home and you continue to do that. That's where we're derailed, right? So I think just having that really good like mindset of like, okay, I don't need to start over every single Monday. Like I need to just pick like progress over perfection, one thing that I can sustain through this 7 day, 14-day vacation, whatever you take, and then kind of go from there. So hopefully that helps anyone that's just like struggling with a vacation coming up because I know I've been there many, many times and I see my clients go through it all the time. But what's so nice, little plug of like working with a one-on-one coach, is that you can actually like verbalize, okay, this is how I'm feeling. And so then we are able to help navigate, like, okay, this is how I need to set up these next 6 days. So
Mhm.
that kind of leads me into I'm thinking like, let's talk first, like, let's kind of go down the line. If someone is about to travel via car, in the next 2 months, June, July, I guess even August. What are your biggest like nutrition hacks? I think this is, we just did we have something called Coach's Corner in our community that every single week I run for all of our clients. And we talked about like reigniting for summer. And we really did talk about like how to nourish well when we go on vacation. And this was really helpful for our clients. And so hopefully this will help. But Erica, I want you to kind of talk about if you are taking your 16, what are they, 16, 14, and 12 now? Or
Mhm.
am I close?
Yeah. Yeah. 12, 13, 16.
Okay. So if you're taking your older kids, what does it look like in the car? And say you're, let's just say it's 4 to 5 hours away. What does that look like for you, like from a practical perspective as a mom? And then for your kids, so that you're not literally going to McDonald's and eating out 24/7.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think for my kids and my family personally, where we are at this phase of life, it is planning and preparing. And so you'll hear me say this a lot if you're my client, like if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And so it would look like for our kids when we go on a road trip, for example, it is, hey, here's what's in the cooler. I personally love driving places because there is literally zero excuses for putting junk in your body when you're driving because you can easily pack up your cooler and you can put anything you need in there. And I think that's cool. I get my kids involved like, hey, we're going down. Like we went to Kansas City like recently. It's like we're going to Kansas City. We've got a 3-hour drive. We're not going out to eat on the way down, and we're not going out to eat on the way back. So we pack enough food that we can keep it in the cooler, put it in the mini fridge when we get there, dump the cooler in the bathtub, refill it with ice, repack it on the way back. Right. We also have like, we usually stay at an Embassy Suites that has like a mini kitchen. So it's like we can bring stuff and stock that too. So we're grabbing snacks on the way out the door. But it is also telling them, hey, here's the plan on this night, I think what it was one of the nights, "Hey, on this night, we're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory. You guys excited about that?" They were like, "Can we get cheesecake?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, you can get cheesecake. We're all getting cheesecake. We're gonna pass it around. We're gonna have fun." So it's like they need to know, and I think we do too. We have something to look forward to. But we can also like look forward to knowing like we're eating some quality foods as well and having that balance. So that's really, really helpful. And I just tell them like this is saving us money. This lets us do more stuff. Like they're old enough to understand how that works. And I think it's like we're gonna stay on track too. We don't want to be sick on our trip. We want to feel good, right?
Yes, that's so, so good. I agree with you. I think traveling in the car is a lot easier, no matter kind of how old your kids, but I just feel we'll talk about airplane travel here in a little bit. But yeah, traveling via car, it's like, okay, we'll just pack a huge cooler. And what we specifically will do is just for examples for you guys, like we do a lot of like beef sticks, jerky, just anything like that for just like quick grab and go protein. We will even we honestly will pack our beef, like we have a lot of ground beef that we'll pack with vegetables, and honestly, like we'll stop at a gas station and warm it up if we have to. Sometimes we eat it cold, it's kind of gross. I hear now that they have like a car microwave type thing that like heats your food. Yeah,
There
I'm
you go.
sure there's something out there. Um, but just like little things, like we'll even bring like our protein like powder, and then we just bring like a couple of shaker bottles, and then you can have that if you're just like hungry for a snack. There's things like, oh my gosh, you can do so many things. Like if you go to
Yeah.
Costco, there's chicken skewers you can get, or just like I always search for just like the straight meats as much as I can because I can put it on ice, right? And so
Mhm.
that's really, really nice. As long as it's already kind of pre-cooked, then that makes it really, really easy to still hit protein and still be eating clean. Fruits, raw vegetables, like all that is perfect. We'll even bring in our collagen sometimes. We'll bring different protein, like we'll do perfect bars. Um, like nut butters, fuel for fires, apple sauces. And my kids
Yeah.
are little, like mine are 4 and 2, and we still do that same thing. Like we don't, it doesn't like, well, we might bring like little, like, I don't know, Annie's snacks maybe for them if they want like little graham crackers or something. But for the most part, like we really stick to that routine. And then, like I said, we stop at the gas station. And then, yeah, we also too have a plan of like, hey, this night, we're going to go out to eat. And
Mm,
absolutely, we're gonna indulge in some yummy stuff. And that's part of vacation that makes some really awesome
mhm,
memories. And you get to try new places maybe that you haven't tried, right? So I
mhm.
think to kind of end it there, like car travel to me is probably the easiest. But let's transition into airplane travel. That is another, I think that's really, really hard for people. Also, I want to preface with this, every airport's different. So I know we have like we come if you guys know where Eric and I are in, we're in Omaha, Nebraska. So when we fly out of our airport, they're pretty lenient with food, honestly. Like I bring a lot of food on the airplane and I don't really ever get my food taken away, just obviously if it's like liquid. But I do know we have I think our clients in Louisiana, and I don't know what airport they go to, but they get like, she was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, if I even have like a protein bar, they'll throw it out. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So that would stink. So
Mm.
I think it just depends on the airport, but like if your airport is lenient, I just want to kind of talk about, okay, Erica, if you are a mom and you're traveling with your kids going to an airport, what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, they get their we just did this. Backpacks full of snacks. They each have their own backpack. We're doing jerky sticks, we're doing RX bars, we're doing apples and oranges. Oranges travel really, really well. I just put them in Ziploc bags in case they smush or anything like that. My kids like a good trail mix. I'm pretty cool with trail mix. I personally, when it's Justin and I'll get us just like an Omega mix. But if they want some that has a little bit of M&Ms in it for vacation, I'm totally okay with that. But we'll do little things too, like Simple Mills crackers, anything that they might need that's like healthy, and
Yeah.
I load them up because they're gonna need it. I give them enough snacks for travel there and travel back.
Mhm. Yep, that's the same thing here. And the worst thing is just one, saving your money at the flipping airport because it's so, so expensive. For like a water bottle, it's like $10. It's just ridiculous. And then, yeah, the snacks there too, so expensive. And then once you're on the plane, it's like, what is that? They give a couple different things like these pretzels and a drink. It's just not filling whatsoever. So if your airport does allow you, like I kid you not, I have brought the people probably hate me, but I have brought hard-boiled eggs, I have brought tuna packets, I have brought beef jerky, like I bring like literally, yeah, fruit. I've brought vegetables before. Like I've never had my food taken away. But as long as it can get you like through the travel. So it's like, okay, if you have a layover, like, okay, can you grab, and we do the same thing. Like we each have a carry-on backpack, right? And we'll just kind of stuff it with a bunch of like healthy snacks. One of the ones I was telling our Coaches Corner group was we use, it's called Bubba's Snack Mix. Here in Nebraska, one of our healthy stores is called Hy-Vee. They have it in like their healthy section. But that's really good. It's like a paleo type it's not a trail mix. It's like dried bananas with just it has like ranch flavor or barbecue flavor. It's really, really good. But we'll just do stuff like that just to get us through. And then usually when we land, we'll always go to something somewhat like clean. So we just traveled to Phoenix actually in April. And so I had my 4 and my 2-year-old pregnant. It was quite the trip. But right when we landed, we had all the snacks to get us through, and thankfully that was a one-way flight. But we were able to get off the plane. We were satiated enough to be able to make it to eat at a sit-down, healthy restaurant. Shout out to if you are in a state that has True Food. It's probably one of my favorite places to go. They have just like all very healthy, like grass-fed meats, wild caught fish. Like they only cook with olive oil, ghee, butters, like nothing, no seed oils. It's so, so good. And I'm like, I don't even care how much this is. I'll pay it because I know it's clean. Then I
Yeah.
get off the plane not feeling disgusting, because I just had my own snacks. I went to a good place when I got there, and now I'm feeling good to go on vacation. So yeah, airplane travel is definitely hard if you cannot pack your own snacks. Okay, let's kind of talk about that too. If for some reason your airport is super, super strict, which I have not seen many, but there must be some. There are, oh gosh, we just flew when we came back from Mexico last May. I think we flew into, was it Chicago? Gosh, or is it Texas? There are now at some airports, there's like these little vending machines, but they're like healthy. Have you seen this? And you
Yeah,
can go and on, I mean, I looked at the ingredients. They're not the healthiest, but it's better than like chips and McDonald's, right? Um,
right.
so I got like a thing of like yogurt and chicken and what have you, and that wasn't bad. Another thing, when you're looking at food places in the airport, if you really can't bring your own snacks, looking for just like straight meat, right? Right? Or just
Yeah.
so let's say you go to Starbucks. One of the best things you could get is just like Americano with some like honey, and then you could get their egg bites. Do their egg bites have some ingredients I don't love? Sure, but like I'd rather you have that than going and having like a
Yeah.
McDonald's like huge thing with tater tots, right? Anything that you can think of at the airport that you would like suggest if they couldn't bring food?
Yeah, I mean, we just did this. We were like, we had to get up at 3 in the morning
Mm.
to catch a 5 a.m. flight, which is wild. I think we left at like 3. And then we had 2 layovers and we weren't even going to get to the resort till like 5 p.m. Right. And so we're like, okay. So I had made giant breakfasts for us to eat, like in the car. I mean, we had protein pancakes, we had tons of eggs, cottage cheese. I'm like, guys, just beef it up. I don't care if you're like having to shove it in your mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna eat it up. Then we did snacks. Well, on our second layover, we knew. I said, we're gonna have to eat something because we're gonna have to go through customs. Then it's a long drive to the resort before we can get food. So we get off the second layover and my kids, we literally walk out the exit and I'm like, we'll just find something. And they're like, Shake Shack. It's like right there. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like my favorite place. They don't have them in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I look at my husband and he's like, Shake Shack. Like he's excited too. And I'm like, all right, let's go to Shake Shack. $100 for us to eat at Shake Shack in an airport. But I was like, okay, let's navigate this well. I'm gonna do a double cheeseburger with all the veggies wrapped in lettuce. I didn't have any fries and I definitely didn't get a $12 drink. I had my water bottle. We travel with our own water bottles and they're like, this water doesn't taste good. I don't care. Drink it anyways. Plug your nose. But we get through, right? But I was like, okay. And, they were like, oh, of course, mom's going to get, but I felt good about that. I felt really, really good about it. And I knew when we got there too, I think part of being prepared is, hey guys, when we get to the resort, you're going to be very tired. And so you're going to feel even more hungry than usual. And, like let's be prepared there too. So just navigating it the best you can. Like you said, what can I do? It doesn't have to be a 10,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be a 1. Like I say, a 1's like a Big Mac, Coke, and fries, and a 10's like, I just went in my yard and got fresh vegetables from, my garden and my chickens, and I slaughtered the cow and made cow meat, right? That's like a 10.
Yeah.
But we can figure out how to make things like a 5, or a 6, just doing our best when we can.
Yeah, that's really good actually. I was thinking when we came back from Arizona, we're like, okay, we're gonna have to eat. So we're just like, okay, we don't want anything fried. So we
Mm,
just found some, I think it was like tuna salad or chicken salad. And then we just kind of took it off the bread. And you're
yeah,
just trying to get as much protein as you possibly can because you're just hungry. And it's not
yeah.
like bread, like it's like not that I don't ever eat bread. It's just that I'm hungry and I just want to like get as much protein in first. So that's kind of
Mm,
where my mindset is like, okay, I'm gonna go to maybe like one of the stores there in the airport. I'm grabbing beef jerky, hard-boiled eggs, like that's what I'm looking for. And just
mm.
different things like that. And maybe like, do I love what is it called? I just drew a blank. The protein shakes that are elite or
Pre-made.
yeah. Why can I not think
Yeah.
of what it's called?
Like a Fairlife or something
Fairlife.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'm like could picture the bottle. Yeah, like a Fairlife. Do I love the ingredients in a Fairlife? Not 100%, but I would totally drink that in an airport with it hard-boiled
Mm,
eggs and some like chicken thing, whatever, right? So I'm always looking for something like that in a pinch. And I think that's exactly how to navigate the best you can.
mhm.
I always tell my clients too, like, give yourself grace and like
Mhm.
also one, if it's a work trip, like really try to dial in. If it's vacation, give yourself a flipping break. You deserve like some time
Mhm.
just to go to Shake Shack. You know what I mean? Like go to
Yeah.
Shake Shack, have a freaking burger. Yeah, I'll do that all the time. Like I'll go get a burger and I might not like have the bun and I'll just like, yeah, get a double cheeseburger and try to eat just
Mhm.
the burger out of it, right? And that
Yeah.
again helps keep me satiated. The other thing I'd like to travel with too, because typically we're usually traveling to warm places. Um, Especially if you're here in the Midwest or anywhere like cold areas in the spring, we like to all travel somewhere warm.
Yeah.
I will pack my like element or relight stuff like
Yeah.
that so to keep me hydrated. Mexico, I definitely pack that and that helps so much. Just
Yeah.
keeping hydrated. I would even pack like I do athletic greens when I'm not pregnant and like they have like little packets. I'll also do that. I try to keep my routine as much the same as possible at home. And
Mhm.
so that looks like, relight in the morning with my AG1 and a bunch of water, right? Like having as similar of a routine is going to help you just feel like you and maybe not so bloated or inflamed from travel, which will inevitably happen. It just does.
Yeah.
Airport or airplane travel is the worst. Like I feel like every time I get off the plane, I'm like, ew, I feel so good. Just like
Yep.
the air in there, I just feel like kind of swollen. So totally
Mhm.
understand that feeling. But I think that's a really good start, Erica, of just like nut butter, fruit, like rice cakes, tons of protein, as much as you can pack
Yeah.
in your backpack to carry on. Now I want to kind of transition into people will ask me, okay, so we got there. Let's talk about hotel versus Airbnb. Now, I'm a huge fan of Airbnb because I
Mhm.
love to cook my own food. We decided to splurge a little bit this last time we went to Arizona because we had hotel points. And we stayed at like a really nice resort, a Hyatt resort. Okay. Well, I looked at my husband and I was like, I don't think I ever want to do that again, especially with little kids.
Mhm.
But I felt like just eating out every single meal. I mean, we didn't even have like a kitchenette. It was just literally a
Mhm.
fridge. And I was like, it just got so old. And honestly, Scottsdale has really like Flower, I think it's called Flower Child and True Food. They have really clean places to eat. But even then, it gets kind of old. You know,
Mhm.
we literally ate at True Food and Flower Child, I think two times each, just to get clean food in. But I would say, like, if you have the preference of choosing one or the other, always go Airbnb if you're on this health journey because it is a little tricky because you have to go to the store and be like, okay, I'm here for like 4 days. How many eggs do I need? Like, you don't want to buy too much because then you can't come home with it. But
Mhm.
so we always buy less and we have to go back and get more to the store.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of Airbnb. If you or VRBO, or whatever, just staying in a house with a kitchen
Yeah.
because you can actually have control over what you're eating. I just felt like we were just constantly like either going to, there's like a little, I don't know, dining place to, you could grab snacks at this resort, but it wasn't, I don't know, there wasn't a ton of healthy.
Yeah.
It just was hard. So if you had, like, if you're on this health journey and you're like, oh, I just want to continue like my normal daily life as much as I can, do an Airbnb.
Mhm.
Um, that is going to allow you to get sausage and eggs and fruit and vegetables and actually have a fridge. And we always will just grill out at night. And we might go out here, we know a couple times, but we actually
Mhm.
prefer to stay in because it just feels better. Um,
Mhm.
and then I don't really have tips if you're in a hotel because when we did that in April, I was like, okay, never again. That was really, really hard.
Mhm.
I don't know
Mhm.
if you want to talk about resort life though, because you just literally got home from being at the resort. How do you navigate? Because again, this is vacation. This is like something that you and your kids will remember forever. So you're not going to be like, I'm so strict. I'm not going to eat a single sweet, right? How do you
Right.
navigate though, not feeling, I think there's a difference between like not being so strict you can't eat anything or drink anything to just like, okay, but genuinely, I don't want to feel gross. You know that feeling?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I don't even want to wear my swimsuit because I just ate like crap yesterday and now I just feel gross. Like there's definitely that line. So how did
Mhm.
you navigate that when you went to Mexico?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the mindset is so wacky because I know personally, like if I eat weird for a day or that morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so gross. I look so gross. I can't put my swimsuit on. I know that if I were my client saying to me, I'd be like, you look the same. You really do, honestly. And you know you do, right? And so I think we kind of have to have this reckoning, especially for me personally, someone who's very, very consistent. Like I'm doing my lifts, I'm going for like I'm eating my quality foods. So when you kind of throw yourself out of that routine, you can get into a little bit of a frenzy. You definitely can. But also knowing like Erica, you look literally the same as when you left on vacation. Like as you really do. You just think you don't,
Yeah.
or you feel off. And so I think one of the biggest things is depending on where you are in your health journey, because I've done resorts multiple times, but I'm much more disciplined than when I first started going to resorts.
Yeah.
And so I know that when I go on that resort, if I blow every single meal, I'm going to feel terrible. Like, so the idea of not feeling good on my vacation is not good for me. I want to feel really great. I want to feel amazing. And so that's number one is how do I like approach this the best way that I can, right? So for me, I had a couple of non-negotiables on vacation. Number one, I will start my day with a full thing of water with my electrolytes in it.
Love
So
it.
before we even leave the room, before we even go have breakfast at the buffet, that's going to be number one. Number two, breakfast and lunch will be as clean as I possibly can make it, meaning I'm very much prioritizing protein. I'm bringing in fruits and vegetables. Um, I also have a rule like I'm not going to have an alcoholic drink until after 1 p.m. Usually it would be like, okay, maybe I'll have like a drink by the pool, and really I'm good. Like, and there were many days where I didn't.
Yeah.
But then my thing that I looked forward to was at dinner. So dinner we would go out for like at restaurants versus a buffet. And so it was like at dinner, I am going to practice what I call like what do I think looks good on the menu. So sometimes I would be like, "Ooh, I really want that pasta." I never eat pasta, right?
Right.
But or some nights I was like, "I want that steak and those veggies. That sounds so good." So I really listened to like my body. I would have a drink with dinner, and we always ordered desserts. We'd order every single dessert and pass it around, and
Right.
we'd each take one bite, and then we'd rank which one did we think was the best, you know? So I felt like really good. Like I'd be like, oh, I took a couple of bites and I was good. And whatever they liked, they could finish it. But it was just like that moderation and like where can I have fun and enjoy? When I was indulging in like drinks and fun food, like non-quality food, it was an experience. We were creating memories. And so for me, it was like, that's awesome. The food did get repetitive. I was like, dude, I'm eating bacon and eggs and sausage and fruit every single morning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I'm ready to go home and eat something else, right?
Yeah.
But it was totally doable. Exercise was like, I'm gonna get up. I think I lifted twice and we
Yeah.
had a full gym. We were there for 7 days. Not like me when I went in. I was just like, I just want to feel the weight. Like I didn't focus on am I hitting 70% of this or that? I just want to move some weight. I just want to feel the weight. And it felt great.
Yeah.
I would get up in the morning and go up. We had like a rooftop and everybody'd still be asleep. And I just did some like core work or stretching or body weight exercises, not to the point that I was like covered in sweat, but where it just felt good. And so it's like I brought in pieces of my routine, but didn't make them as like extreme, if that makes sense. So it actually really allowed me to like fall in love with why I do what I do. Right? Like, oh, I actually really enjoy this. I like moving my body. I like making healthy choices.
Yeah.
It was a sweet little reset.
I love that. I think we did the exact same thing. And I always had to tell myself, like, don't restrict or obsess, because that used to be
Yeah.
me, right? And I think a lot of people do that. well, I'm on this diet or I'm on this whatever. It's like just make that like take what you do at home and bring it into this resort life for 7 days at a very like a fraction of what you do at home. And you'll just, I want anyone listening, like just do what feels good. That's so important. Like
Mhm.
make choices that like align with what makes you feel good. And I think that is like what makes a vacation because when we were in Mexico last May, same thing. We'd wake up and we'd go do a workout. We wouldn't spend like an hour there. We'd maybe do 30 minutes and we would just get some movement in. We'd walk there. We wouldn't take a golf cart. We'd walk there to get some steps in. We'd get some pump going because that's just our natural daily thing that we like to feel, right? And then
Mhm.
like, yeah, let's go to the buffet. And we were really big on like omelets. And
Mhm.
so we would throw like a ton of like vegetables and meat in there. And so we'd all have like a big omelet. And that just felt so good every day. And it was like,
Mhm.
yeah, here and there we would try one of their crepes or their waffles or whatever. But I think just like having some non-negotiables was so huge to make sure that you're
Mhm.
like stressing about, oh my gosh, when I get home, I'm gonna feel so huge and I'm gonna be 10 pounds up on the scale. It's like, no, you're not. And honestly, just like Erica said, probably don't look any different. It's more about how you feel. Like
Mhm.
it really, really is. Like I know how I feel when I'm bloated and I don't love that feeling. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna make choices that maybe aren't going to exacerbate that.
Yeah.
A like drinking right away at 8 a.m., right? My body doesn't love alcohol. And so that
Mhm.
makes me feel kind of gross feeling, right? Not
Mhm.
that drinking alcohol at 8 a.m. on a vacation is bad, but that's just me and that's how I feel, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean that vacation has to be like a free for all, but it can if you want. But like if you want to stick with your goals, right, that you've worked so hard for, it just means like the freedom has to be with intention. And I think that's really, really important for people to understand. And so I've left almost every vacation like, yeah, I don't feel super normal. Like definitely traveling takes a toll on the body, but like I don't feel like I've just blown it. And that
Mhm.
is the best feeling because when I was younger, that's how I would feel. And I would go
Mhm.
just balls to the walls, eat whatever, do whatever. And so, again, like having movement and a routine is so important. Like, go on a little, go get some coffee, listen to a podcast, get a pump in,
Mhm.
swim. Like, we, when my family went to Mexico, gosh, this was like 4 or 5 years ago before my daughter. We did like every morning workout activity. So instead of going to the
Yes.
gym, we would do like they always had something so fun. I don't even know, like Pilates on a board or something. And we would
Yes.
like die laughing because it was so funny. Just trying, all of us trying to do it, but like it was so fun and it actually was active. I'm like, oh, this is fun,
Mhm.
right? And like that would just be like our thing. Like we're gonna do an activity every morning together. And
Mhm.
that's really, really fun. So I would say if that you're in that stage with older kids, that might be something you can do. If you're in my stage with little kids and you go somewhere like a resort, it's gonna look different. So that's when you start to be like, okay, babe, I'm gonna drink my water with electrolytes. I'm gonna head to the gym and then we'll swap out and then we'll meet at the pool,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So you just have to, if it's just,
Yes.
or if you go with grandparents, you send them with the grandparents and then you go spend quality time with your husband, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot that again, take a fraction of what you do at home and bring it to your vacation with you, and you will feel so much better coming home. Really, truly.
Mhm.
Um, Vacation and travel does not have to derail you. It absolutely does not. And it's just having some intention behind what you're doing. And I think that that is what we preach and teach here at JNFC is like, it's all about sustainability. You're never not going to go on vacation. You're always
Mhm.
have things come up. So I think that's where we can kind of lead into before we kind of end it here, Erica, is like, all right, we talked about travel, car, airport. We talked about Airbnb, hotel, resort. Hopefully people have a really good understanding of just what to bring, how to do it, how to navigate it, stuff like that. The last thing I think that we talk about, I think that, so I don't know how to go about it. So if we talk about okay, so we're at an Airbnb, we're traveling back. Like, what's like I'll bring God into this. So, like, your every single day, like, how do you keep like your mornings like at the center of your trip? Like, even if it's chaos and you have like all this stuff going on, like, let's talk about like spiritual and like restful moments within vacation too, because I think sometimes, which my family is so much like this, you go, 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 and then you get home from vacation, you're like, I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation. So how do you spend time just like actually like taking some time to just like relax and take a deep breather from working and home life and stuff like that? What would you say you do?
Yeah. Well, one thing I love about vacation, and this could stress a lot of people out who are like, love an agenda. We don't set alarms and
Yeah.
we don't like, we'll have maybe one thing we want to do the next day, but we're very like flexible with that. And so we don't set alarms and we rest. We really, really do. And I think like sleeping in is great. For me personally, I'm a girl, I get up at 4:30 every morning, and so for me to sleep in, it's like, "Holy cow, it's 6 AM," right? And so one thing that's really important to me on vacation, and you can ask my kids and husband this, I'll be the first one up, and I'm very quiet, and I let them continue to sleep. I wake up refreshed, I'm still the first one up, and that's when I really get to have my time to just find a place. If it's an Airbnb, I'm going out on the patio or I'm going out on the balcony, the resort. If it's the hotel, I'm probably going to go for a walk down to the lobby and find a space to just sit, where I can connect with the Lord, and just like pray and be grateful and really like thank you for this opportunity. Help me to make today the best, right? Like help me to love my kids and have patience. Fill Holy Spirit, fill me with joy, right? And like um just connecting with the Lord. I think that's really important. We can bring our Bibles along, or if you got your Bible on your phone, the app, that's really great too. And just like recognizing for us, we recognize that to travel costs money. And we understand that anytime we have money, it's not ours, it's the Lord's. Like he has been so like abundant in his favor. Like that's like, and so we always just want to take a moment to like just really recognize him and know like just thank him for the opportunity to travel. And it's really cool. I will pray, like, Lord, give me an opportunity to point my kids to you today. So sometimes it can be like, wow, look at the ocean. I remember we were on our trip and I was like, look how much sand is here. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, you know what's crazy? In Psalm 139, it says, like, the Lord has such good thoughts about you. Like, he's never thought one bad thought about you. And I'm like, can you even think of one person you know that you've never had a bad thought about? And they're like, no. And I was like, the Bible says that his thoughts are so precious about us. Like, they're more than the numbers of the grains of sand. Look at the sand. Isn't that so cool? Like where we can like have moments where it's like, can I point them to you? Because I don't get to travel with them every single day. I don't get full weeks where we're only together. Like, how do I make the most of like constantly pointing them towards Jesus in such a simple way? And so when I connect with the Lord in the morning like that, like he will reveal it to me. Like that moment before I told my kids that, he's like, remember what my word says, share it with them. Right. So it's like, that's so cool. I can hear him whisper to me. And that's really special for me to be able to have opportunities like that throughout our vacation too.
I love that. Yeah, I always try to just like take a deep breather and sit on the balcony, whether it's a resort, hotel, Airbnb, and just like always give my first, even on vacation. But I have to remind myself that like this isn't go, 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 go. This is also like
Mhm.
actually like being grounded and like actually resting and being like nourished in the soul and the body, right? And I think that's something that we all need to remember with vacation is like this really should be a reset for your body. Like take time. So the way that like you're nourishing your soul, you're also doing your body through again bringing in some of your daily routines such as seeking the Lord first thing and drinking your water with electrolytes first thing and adding a ton of protein to your breakfast first thing, and then you will just literally come back so refreshed. And I truly believe that. I think that's like the one thing for us to just remember, like slow down, look at the beauty around you, be so
Mm,
thankful that like you have the money to travel. It's expensive to travel. And so whether it's like 2 hours away or across
yeah.
the country, like what an absolute like blessing. And so I
Mhm.
would just like to bring the Lord into that because I think we just, again, especially when you have kids, it can just be go, 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 go. And sometimes we just have to like sit, and it's okay not to get 10,000 steps on vacation. It's okay to like, I know I'm such a busybody that I'm always like, okay, I need to move, I need to move. And then on vacation, I'm like, it's okay, just sit down, like sit down all day. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's something that I really had to like learn. Like, I'm going to sit here and watch my kids play in the pool and I'm not going to move. And I'm probably going to get like 3,000 steps today, but that's okay because I'm,
Yes.
remembering these times with my little kids. So
Mhm.
I think that on top of everything, hopefully we'll just bring some good routine for women listening or men to start your vacation off right. And I too, I'm the first one to wake up in my house. So it's like, okay, I'm going to spend my time and then we're
Yeah.
going to start our day. Um, is there anything else that you can think of travel wise that would help anyone listening? I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
if there's anything
The
else.
only thing the only thing I would say is when we prepare to travel, like we prepare our minds and our hearts, right, for when we're there. We have a plan. We prepare before we go to the airport with our snacks, right? But we also need to be prepared when we get home, because that is definitely the gap. That's where I see, okay, yes, to what you said. I need a vacation from my vacation, or I came back and I got thrown right into a Monday, right? And so it's like, I tell my clients this a lot. Hey, like for example, we got home from Mexico and I told my husband, I said, he goes, I took today off. And I said, okay, me too. And he looked at me, he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, we're going to Costco and we're going to the gym. And he's like, oh, I'm like, right away. No doubt about it. Let's go. Right. Because why? Because the sooner I can put myself into that, my brain on vacation is like, ooh, and my body's like, ooh, I want sugar because I've had it consistently every day for 7 days. Right away, my brain needs to know, nope, we're back and we're going to do this and it's okay. I think that's the hardest part. So if I get home and I don't have anything ready to go, I'm going to order a pizza because I'm tired instead, right? And so having a plan, whether it's like I've got canned tuna and quinoa in my pantry, worst case scenario, I've got some frozen shrimp and some frozen veggies in the freezer. Like I know I have something to go to before I can get to the store. But I think of just being mindful of that because otherwise you will give yourself permission to, just take it easy the next couple days. But typically that turns into a full week. And then we'll hear people say, gosh, I gained 5 pounds on vacation. It's like, no, you probably didn't gain pounds on vacation, but because this 7 days turned into 14 or 15, right now, the body is like, okay, wait a minute. So being prepared when you're home, I think is really important too.
That's so good. I think that's like a great thing that we need to talk about is like how do you get back into routine? Because I think that that truly is what derails you. It's not when you're on vacation, it's when you get home. And it's
Yeah.
like putting yourself right back. It's like, okay, we're gonna start the laundry, get to the gym, to the store, and we're gonna start our normal routine. And I think
Mhm.
that like, okay, go grab a ton of protein, like get into that normal routine. I think that's so good. Because people will do exactly what you said. They'll get home, they'll have some pizza, they might like just kind of dog it for the next couple of days. Well, then that turns into a couple weeks, and now we're like a month
Mhm.
out and I've gained 10 pounds. Well, yeah, because you've continued to eat like you probably did at the resort or wherever you were, right? I think that's really, really huge. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about too, just quickly, because we're talking kind of about summer hacks, just came to my mind is
Mhm.
okay, travel is one thing, but another thing is coming up in gosh, I don't even know, less than a month is 4th of July. Here we have a huge 4th of July every year. It's like our biggest holiday, that and Christmas. And so when I was a nurse, I'd get so mad when they put me on 4th of July because that was the one holiday I'd always try to switch for. I'm like, I don't care.
Aw.
It's like work Christmas, but I love 4th of July because it's just more so for me, it's just like being outside, the lake, just all the friends. I just love so
Yeah.
much. So this is one thing I want to talk about quick too that I think we can throw in here is how to navigate summer parties. Or just get-togethers, 'cause I feel like that happens a lot, especially here in the Midwest. It's freezing 6 months of the year. And so
Mhm.
I feel like this is when everybody comes alive and you're like, woo, free for all. Like, let's all just like have a party, which it's so fun. Like, I love it. But I feel in the months from like June to August, you can really fall off if you're not
Mhm.
careful with alcohol and just snacky things. So how would you say that like you navigate get-togethers, parties, 4th of July type things the best of your ability?
Yeah. So for me at this point in my life, if I'm going somewhere, everyone there already knows how I'm navigating it. They don't think I'm weird. I don't feel awkward. But I will tell you that when you start to like become healthier, like make better quality choices, there's a lot of social anxiety behind like,
Mhm.
I'm going to this thing and I don't know what to do. Or like, I'm going to feel really weird saying no to having drinks or this or that. And so then I just say like, hey, take a deep breath and let's like set some boundaries and let's hold ourselves accountable to that. And so it could look like having that for yourself, but then sharing it with somebody. Like I know for me personally, when we go to stuff, I will tell my kids and my husband if I plan on drinking or not before we even leave. And then if I am going to have a drink, I let them know like how many am I going to have? Typically, that's one, if any, because that's just where I am at this phase in life.
Yeah.
And so, like, they know that. And so I'm telling them that I'm holding myself accountable. And that's great. My kids are older. So they'll be like, that's your one drink, and they'll be like super funny about it. But I think that if we're going to a social situation, bring something with you, and don't be afraid to just like bring a dish to share. Okay, but if it's like an all day thing, like I think 4th of July is like an all day thing,
Yeah.
right? If it's an all day thing, pack your own food and don't feel bad about it. Like be a weirdo. That's what I say. Like, and don't feel bad about it. So it's like, and navigate it well. What is going to be there? Sometimes we have to have a conversation with ourselves. When I go to 4th of July, I already know it's going to be there. It doesn't come out of the nowhere. This is a tradition,
Right.
right? And so I can literally close my eyes right now and I can see all of the food that's going to be available. I know exactly what dishes are going to be there. So I'm going to talk to myself about what I'm going to choose. And it sounds silly, but if I go over that over and over in my head and I visualize that plan and I have that plan, it is so much easier for me to walk it out when I get there. And if I stick to that and I feel really satiated and I want to have a s'more later, oh yeah, I'm so excited to have the
Yeah.
s'more, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's all about being prepared with your mind, holding yourself accountable, having your non-negotiables. And honestly, I mean, nobody's really going to care that you brought something for you or make a big dish and bring it for everybody
Yeah.
else. You might be the only one who eats it, but nobody's going to really say, what's on your plate? I mean, when's the last time you ever said that to somebody at a social gathering? What are you eating? What's on your plate? Like nobody's going to say that, but we make ourselves feel like that's happening.
Yeah.
But really it's not.
That's so good. And just like you said, like um failing to plan, right, is planning to fail.
Mhm.
And so I always say like we had a big party at our house or 4th of July. It's like I'm gonna start my morning off with a crap ton of protein because I don't know, I might be talking a lot or might be doing something and might not get it in the rest of the day. And for anyone who's tracking your food, let these days not be super overwhelming or stressful. I always say, if you want to track, you can track. If you're super type A, go for it. But there's really no reason on days like that, right? And so this is a really good chance to kind of check yourself. Can I still do this without tracking my food, which is a
Mhm.
for all of us, right? And so,
Mhm.
can I have a big breakfast, ton of protein, and then can I go and just pick better options, right? I might have a s'more, I might have a cookie, I might have half of a pie, whatever. But I still am constantly looking at is most of my plate filled with protein, vegetables, whole foods. At our party, they just someone made bacon wrapped dates. And I don't know if you tried
Mm.
this. They were so good. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, like this genuinely kind of is clean. Like there's nothing, it's literally like dates and a piece of bacon. So just like fun things like that, like getting to indulge in things like that you probably don't have on a daily basis.
Mhm.
But I always, always, always will grab my protein first and, like more vegetables and stuff. And it's cool now because there's so many different healthy options where I can have like healthier chips with like
Mhm.
good, like clean salad, right? So there are so many options now. And I think just like Erica said, really visualizing, you know exactly what's going to be there. It's there every single year. And it's your choice if you're going to fill your plate with a tiny little I don't know, hamburger or hot dog, and then the rest, like, I don't even know, casserole, whatever it is.
Yeah, Doritos
Yeah,
and beer.
and yeah, so like you can choose, and then don't be. don't fall into peer pressure. Like if you truly don't want to drink, don't drink. And there's a ton of
Mhm.
mocktails, like me even being pregnant at our party the other day, they're like, hey, brought you some mocktails. Looks exactly like what everybody else is drinking. And then if you want to drink, go for it. Like it's not that big of a deal. Just understand, like again, with intention. Are you going to do one, two, like visualize it, have a plan.
Mhm.
Don't go off the rails because you're just setting yourself up for failure then the next literally probably 3 days. I've recognized as you get older, it's a lot harder to recover. So I think
Yeah.
I hope that helps people just and just like Erica said too, be weird. When I was coming back from Mexico, I literally sat in the airport, everybody else sitting scrolling their phone, eating burgers, shakes, all the time. I'm doing air squat.
Yep.
We all got down, did 150 air squats while we were on our layover. And it's like, yeah, I look weird, or I'm walking the airports, or I'm doing these things.
Mhm.
And it's like, I just don't care anymore. I will
Yeah.
bring my food, I'll pack my food. I do not care. And so just be weird and don't be a because you're fueling your body and you're the only one that's looking out for you. No one else cares. So
Mhm.
I hope that
Yeah.
is helpful, Erica. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
anything else to end with.
I would just tell people like, hey, set realistic expectations, right? Have that conversation with yourself. Think about the sticky notes on the wall, right? You can even look at that as, the day. If I make these many really great choices and I have the alcohol later, great, and I have the s'more later, great. It was just two sticky notes out of the 10, right? And so I think that the biggest thing we can do is, like I said, set realistic expectations. Don't be afraid to be weird. And one thing that I would really encourage every person listening to this is, hey, when you're in situations where maybe you recognize it's really hard for me to make a quality choice, right? We don't want to take all or nothing mentality into 4th of July. 4th
Right.
of July shouldn't be, I am not going to do a single thing, right? But it could look like this. It could look like, you know what? Typically at the 4th of July, I have 5 drinks, and this year I'm only going to have two.
Mhm.
And if that's the only thing you change, that's a huge win because your brain all of a sudden recognizes you did something different and better for you. So the next holiday, Halloween or, New Year's Eve or Thanksgiving, whatever comes over, you get a pull from that experience and you get to say, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal. What could I do for this holiday? Right. So then, if we're doing that every year on holidays, we are getting incrementally better and mentally more resilient when it comes to our relationship with like food and our health. So celebrate little things like that and challenge yourself in just tiny ways that can actually end up being really big changes over time.
Yeah, and we see it all the time with our clients. They'll come back like, "Oh my gosh, I came back from vacation. Like, I don't feel as bad as I did in the past, or I didn't even gain any weight, or I navigated this really well at this party." And just having those little wins is what like keeps us going, right? And
Hmm.
everybody longs for. So I would just pray that you would take any tip or trick that we shared today and just take it into your next vacation or your next get together. And hopefully that these tips help you so that you don't feel like you're failing constantly every single time something new is coming up. That's why I always tell our clients, like, you work with us for a year and probably something's going to come up that like we're going to have to navigate together.
Hmm.
Get that travel, get-togethers, death. There's so many things that could happen in every single one of our lives. So how can we just get help, go through it together, and then just learn again how to navigate it? I think that's the biggest part in having someone to kind of cheer you on through all of it. So I want to thank you, Erica, for taking the time today. I hope this is really, really helpful for people. I think our next podcast is next month. What did we just say we're doing? We just talked about it. Oh, we're going to talk about progressive overload, I think is what we're going to talk
Ooh,
about.
yeah.
It'll be really, really good. But
Yes.
I hope this was super helpful for people with travel and summer. Thank you again, Erica. And we'll
Yeah.
probably see you soon here on the podcast.
Sweet. Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye, guys.